Well, welcome to the Getting Started recording for Java Programming, Programming 2. And you can see that Programming 2, the first week, of course, October 21 through 25. Let's go ahead and jump into the Welcome and Getting Started. And this recording is going to help you do the Getting Started write-up over here on the left. So, of course, Java Programming, so this is Programming 2. So it'll be based on some of the stuff that you may have learned in previous programming classes, but you could probably pick this up even if you don't have a strong background in programming. Now, some of the things that you want to do to get going is, of course, read the course syllabus to learn more about the course, what you're going to learn, how it operates. So the course syllabus is right here. Watch the Getting Started recording, which is what you're doing now. Complete the Getting Started write-up, and you all know about how to do the write-ups. I think you're all veteran students of mine. So Getting Started write-up is right there. Introduce yourself discussion you'll do. That's right here. My learning plan assignment. That's right here. And also send me an email while you're taking the course, what you think you'll learn from it, the grade you want to earn. Also, on a scale of 1 to 10, rate what you already know about programming. Finally, make sure you have on your desktop a folder called Java Programming, or better yet, you might have a folder called Insight, and then put Java Programming folder in that. And actually, if I were a student, I would have a folder called Insight 2013Blk2, and then put my new current folders in there. That way, I'm much more organized. But no matter how you do it, you want to make sure you have a folder called Java Programming. So that's the welcome and getting started. And then the work, as you know, the way my classes go, they go from the Monday through the Friday, so Monday, October 21, with work due on the 25th. And that way you can get the work done and not have to worry about doing classwork on weekends. So keep that in mind, please, as you work throughout the course. Try to stay on schedule. Now for this week, as always, I break things down into Tuesdays and Thursdays. So Tuesday, this can be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just Tuesday, whatever you want to do. But you have, of course, the recording work to do, the Getting Started write-up, and then these other items: introduce yourself, discussion, the My Learning Plan, and read the course orientation and introduction. So you're just learning about the course. And then on Thursday, the introduction to Java unit, there's a discussion. We're going to skip the discussions. I do that in all my classes. So the introduction to Java unit, so that's going to be down here. So there's just going to be a little bit of reading in there, no activities or anything. So this first week is pretty easy for this class. So that's what you're going to work on. And while we're here, I just want to cover all of these items I have. Proper file names, really important. So use the exact file names that the assignment tells you to. Use the exact file names, please. Other times, I might give you the file names in the assignment descriptions recordings that I post. So we'll talk about that, but make sure you use appropriate and accurate file names. Index of lesson recording. Of course, this is where I'll post all of the lessons that I create each week, like this Getting Started lesson. This will be posted in here. Assignment directions. These will be individual postings, individual recordings for the different assignments that you'll have in the class. So that way you don't have to go to the lesson recording to learn about the assignment. You can just go to these shorter assignment recordings. And finally, when I do the live class connects and when I record those, I'll post the recordings of those here in case you missed the live class connects. You can go watch the recordings. So that's just some of the basics about navigating in the course home area. All right, the syllabus. Let's go ahead and jump in and then learn about this course. So all of my contact information up here at the top. And of course, Kmail is the best way to get a hold of me. If you do need to call, there's my phone with the extension, and then my cell phone would be an emergency. I've been a high school teacher since 1989, taught in regular school and online. I've also coached basketball and track and coordinated lots of student clubs and activities. Been a district technology director and a high school counselor for a couple years also. So I've done a lot of things in education. I've also trained lots of teachers. There was one time in my career when I would travel around the country training teachers to use technology. So I've been involved with technology and online learning for an awful long time. I've taught online since 2000, so I've taught, 13 or 14 years online. I live in Grand Junction with my wife and son. Robert, he's a senior at Grand Junction High School. I like the outdoors. I like hitting the gym a few days a week. I do some reading. I have a master's in online teaching and learning, and I completed that all online. So I've been in your shoes. I've been an online learner. I also have a Colorado principal's license. I like teaching online because I think I'm doing something to help students succeed. And teaching online, I'm working with non-typical high school students. And the first reason many of you are non-typical is that you're learning online, and that's different. Also, many of you have different challenges in life. Some of you have families. You started families early, so that's a challenge. So obviously you're a non-typical student. Some of you are working full-time. Some of you travel with your families. So there are lots of non-typical students in Insight. And I like working with those types of students. I also like the flexibility that I get for teaching online, and I can try new strategies and different approaches. So hopefully I can help you succeed. The course descriptions, you're going to learn to understand Java, how to build and compile standalone applications, look at some real-world scenarios. And this is for students who have very little background. And hopefully you've taken VBNet. I think everybody has taken VBNet, so at least you have some basic understanding of terminology, keywords, those types of things. That'll really help you out. So you can see down here the requisites. Of course, this isn't a semester, it's just one block. And here's the download. Don't worry about this download right now. We're going to have some different directions on downloading. So let's look at the outline. The introduction to Java, just the basics of it, arrays, object-oriented programming, strings, etc. All of these things you should be familiar with from previous programming courses, at least the terminology, except the graphic user interface. That's going to be different with Java. Some of the objectives, so you understand how Java has changed over the years, the evolution of it. Write some basic Java programs, compile and run your own program, understand variables and operators, learn about object-oriented programming, use inheritance in Java, custom and system errors, working with different types of arrays, threads in Java programming, graphical user interfaces, and strings. So lots of different topics, many of which you're familiar with. Grading, as you know, all my classes are based on 1,000. That way you can just do simple math to figure out your grade percentage. For instance, at the end, if you have 782 points, that's 78.2%. Pretty easy to figure out, right? Now, anytime you can determine your grade, just take the points earned divided by the points possible. So let's say we go along and you've earned 180 points out of 200 after the second week or something like that. Well, 180 divided by 200 ends up being 90%. So that's how you can figure out your grades at any time. And no extra credit. I think students should earn the grade they deserve by doing the required work. Sometimes I'll give extra points for outstanding work, so keep that in mind as you do different things in the course. You might get 1 or 2 bonus points on things. Always go to the grade book to see your current grade points. That's the best place to find what your grades are. Don't send me an email asking me what your grade is. Go to the grade book. It is accurate when I grade work for you. Gradebook is the best place to go. It's even better than like when you log in and you see your grades just in Insight in general where you see all your classes. Sometimes that's not up to date. Gradebook is always up to date. Of course, there are going to be exams and units or exams and quizzes in the unit. And I don't let you retake them. What I do instead, I provide you quiz and exam previews. So use the previews to prepare for the quizzes and exams, then do the quizzes and exams. So for instance, if I go down here to the basics unit, and see if I post it. Yeah, here's the quiz previews right here. So if I click on that, then here are the previews for the 2 quizzes in this unit. So you can see how quiz previews are designed to help you in the course. Finally, the class connects. I use them differently from many teachers. I use it as a time for you to come in and get some work done as opposed to me presenting information. That's why I do the lesson recordings ahead of time. So I do Saturday and Sunday, I create lesson recordings for the week, and then you can watch those recordings and know what to do for the week. So I do the lesson recordings, I do the write-up recordings, all of those things ahead of time. So then when we come into the class connects, then you can get some real work done, and you're ready to come in and get some work done. So the way the live class connects work is the first few minutes I'll talk about the assignments for the week and what the expectations are, answer any questions you have on new work or old work, and then I expect you to stay logged in and get some work done for the week. So it's really a valuable time for you to come in. Live sessions held a couple of times a week. For this week, they'll be on Tuesday. And finally, the weekly lesson recordings. I try to get them done and posted there early Monday morning, ready for you. And these weekly lesson recordings are helpful in two ways. They give you the overview of the work for the week, and they give you the answers to the write-ups. So that's how the weekly recordings work for you. Well, getting started recording, that's what you're watching right now. Getting started write-up. Of course, you've done these before, but when you do these write-ups, remember the write-up is not an attachment. You just copy all of this into a word processor type program. Then you answer the questions as you go through, as you watch this recording. Then you'll post all of that in that word processor program. Then you'll highlight the whole thing with the questions, the question numbers, and the answers. And then you paste it in the Dropbox. You do not attach a file. So all the write-ups are done that way. And more of the work for this week. Introduce yourself. This is the introduce yourself discussion. Look, Nathaniel's already posted his. So introduce yourself discussion. Here are just some 7 basic questions. And you'll hit respond to go ahead and post yours. So then you'll type your name in here in the subject, and then you will answer all 7 of these questions right down here in this text area. So I'm going to hit cancel for that. So again, you hit respond to post your own on this response. Then if you want to read about somebody, so here's Mr. H. If you want to read about me, you can respond to me by hitting respond just underneath my name. Or Nathaniel's, you can go into Nathaniel's, and then you can hit respond under his. Now, please notice that I answered mine in complete sentences. Please use complete sentences and proper vocabulary, proper words as you answer these. So, I know exactly as I look at these answers, I know the question that I answered up here. So please use complete sentences when you do your responses to that. And then you'll post it. Okay, my learning plan. This is a 25-point assignment. Haven't put that in yet. I'm going to go to another class and look at my learning plan because they're the same. In fact, I'll just go ahead and darn it, sorry about that. So check this out. Show you just how we can add things to these classes fairly easily. Certain things we can add. I'll hit save. So there we are. We're in the learning plan. I have it posted. So learning plan for this class is worth 25 points, 2.5% of your grade. Of course, there are no right or wrong answers, but you're going to get graded on the completeness of your work. So what you want to do, you'll copy and paste all of these. So all 7 questions, copy and paste into a word processor file. Then answer them on your own. Some you can answer by just deleting the things that are not your answers. Others you need to type in the answers. For instance, like number 1 here, if you're going to do it faster than scheduled, then you could just go right here, delete those, and then faster than scheduled will stay in there as your answer, right? Down here, if you're going to do 4 to 6 hours a week, then you can just delete these, and then 4 to 6 hours will be your answer. Just answer these questions. Please don't give me 2 or 3 paragraphs of, well, I plan to work 4 to 6 hours, but sometimes I might have to work 10 hours if I have to do extra work, because often I get called into my job and then I miss some work for school and then I have to make it up the next week. I don't need that. I just want what your basic plan is, just your ideas. This is just a starting point to have a frame of reference for you and for me on how you plan to do the work. So please just answer these questions directly. Now, on the ones where you need to type in your own answers, like number 4 down here, explain what you would do to make sure you earn your grade. I want 3 or 4 specific things. So these could be, I'm going to set up a schedule for the semester. I'm going to set up a weekly work schedule. I'm going to attend all the live class connects. I'm going to have my mom or my older brother or sister read over my work before I submit it. I will go over the assignment directions 2 times before I start any assignment. So types of things that will help you earn the grade you want. I will do some research online to see how to do effective Java programming. That can really help. So I want specific things, please. Don't just put, I will turn in work. That doesn't tell me anything. Number 6, what are some things if you don't understand an assignment? Well, a lot of students would put, contact the teacher. That's the last thing to do. Because as I've said, if you go to the announcements area, I give you all of this stuff. I give you lesson recordings that you can look at again. I give you directions on assignments. I give you lots of information here, hints and tips on your work. I'll post some announcements. So I give you lots of information in the announcements to help you with your work. So if I was going to answer this one on how to do, or if you're having trouble in the class, if you don't understand an assignment, I'd go look at the assignment directions, see if Mr. Harrison has posted a recording. I would have my mom or a dad or brother or sister, I would read the assignment to them, see if they can help me understand it better. So those are just some things that you can do for yourself before you just say, I will contact the teacher. As I try to give you tools to help you, and you can help yourself. You can even go online, and if the assignment talks about a certain type of a program, you can go online and Google and type in that type of program, and you might find some things that can help you out in that regard. Number 7, find what background knowledge, interest do you have, and just whatever your feelings are on that. So this one you'll answer the questions, save it. Oh, there's a mistake here. I have that computer fundamentals, so I better change that. So this one you're going to save as Java programming. Java programming my learning plan, that's the exact name to save it as, a processing file. Then once you get it saved as that, then you will post it as an attached file in the Dropbox. So please do that the right way. Otherwise, I'm going to take 5 points off. So I give you the exact directions right here. Course schedule. Course schedule is in the doc sharing area, so you can click right here. Take a look at the course schedule. As you go through the schedule, you'll see that we have about 7 units in this course, and each unit is each week. So this week we're doing the course home unit. Next week you're doing the basic unit. Then the following week you're doing the arrays unit, then the OOP unit. So you can see that each week is going to be a different unit. Strings unit, exceptions handling unit, etc. So use that course schedule. It's there to help you out, so you know what's going on. Class connects. I've already talked about how my class connects are different. So again, you'll come into the session, first few minutes I'll talk about what the assignments are for the week, answer any questions you might have, and then you'll stay logged in and complete some work for the week. Grading information, we talked about this already, based on 1,000 points, no extra credit. Always go to the grade book to see what points you have, and of course the lowest number of points is 595. That's the lowest you can have to pass. 595, the lowest number of points to pass. Communication is really important in an online environment. It's easiest to reach me through Kmail. So I check that constantly. That's the best way to reach me. But I'll, obviously, phone calls, we'll talk about that. I have a direct line through Insight, so phone calls are no problem either, obviously. Announcements are the best way to stay current on what's going on in class. So if you have an issue that comes up with that assignment, go to the announcements, and I may have posted an announcement already explaining something about that assignment. So please always look at the announcements first. If you have any questions, then move ahead, go forward if either a question is answered or if you need to contact me. Certainly in the announcements, I'll post class-wide issues, like the name of a file or something like that. So always go to the announcements first. Kmail, best way to get in touch with me. Important. You have to type the course name in the subject line as well as your topic, because the course name does not show up in Kmail when you send it. So you have to put it in the subject line. Here's a perfect subject line. Java program, need help with name program assignment. That way I know exactly what you need, I know what class you're in, and then when you get into the start typing what you need in the message part of the Kmail, then you'll explain the help that you need, right? If it's a new topic in the Kmail, please write a new Kmail. As an example, I'll send out an email this afternoon that says, welcome to class, and I guarantee that within 2 weeks, some student will open up that Kmail and reply to it and just say, Mr. H, I need help on the name program assignment or something similar. So the subject line is going to be the replying to the welcome to class email rather than a new subject line. So please just write a new subject line if it's a new subject or new topic in Kmail. Finally, when you type your message in the Kmail, be specific. If you're really specific, I might be able to get back to you with just one answer, one Kmail and get back to you, then you're ready to go. Please don't send a Kmail that's saying, I need help, or even I need help on the name program. Put in there, well, on the name program, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to put the quotes in. Do they go around the name, or do I have to put something else in there to make the name show up? So be specific, and I can get back to you pretty quickly with the appropriate answer, hopefully. Phone calls, always open to talking on the phone. Schedule ahead of time if it's going to be something that we really need to cover, if I need to explain some work to you or something like that. And the great thing about that is that we'll both be prepared for what we need to discuss. So there's my phone number. And the reason I don't like students calling me out of the blue is because I may be in the middle of working with other students, might be grading papers, might be doing the recordings. So set up phone calls ahead of time. Class Connect, ongoing Class Connect for immediate help. I'll talk about that in a minute, but that's right over here, immediate help. I'll tell you how those can help you. Skype, every once in a while I'm on there. You can try to add me if you want to. We can maybe Skype if you need it sometime. The Windows Live Messenger, I'll try to get better about having that on when I'm working so you can get a hold of me immediately, or another type of an IM setup. Teacher contact information, we've gone over all of this, so you should know that. Immediate Class Connects. As you probably know, the Class Connects, the only way we can schedule those are on the hour, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, or 3:30, 4:30, 5:30. Well, what if it's 2:05 and a student needs help with something? Well, I'd have to go in and schedule a Class Connect for 2:30, then we'd have to wait around for 2:30 to roll around, then get into the Class Connect. Well, this immediate one, I have it running 24 hours a day. All you do is click right there, and then it opens it up, you put your name in, and you enter the session, and I'll be sitting in there waiting for you. So what we do is we set these up ahead of time. I mean, I don't sit in there all day waiting for kids to show up, but we set it up ahead of time. Like in the instance I said before, it's 2:05 and you need help, and I might say, hey, I'll see you in the immediate Class Connect in 5 minutes. And boom, we show up in there, we're ready to work. So that's how the immediate Class Connects work. A few other items here you might want to look at: academic integrity. So talking about being honest in your work, doing your work appropriately, effectively, being appropriate online, different things like that. Orientation, you want to read through particularly the success and the study skills parts. Read through orientation. Gives you more of an idea of online learning, and not so much about this class, but more in general about learning online. So make sure you do all that. Course help, this is where you can send you can get basic information about courses in general. This isn't about this specific course, it's more something that K-12 has set up. I don't find it extremely helpful, unfortunately. So that's all I have for you as far as getting started in this class. It went pretty quick. I think all of you are veteran students with me, so I don't see any issues on the work you need to get turned in. But if we go to week 1 again, for this week you have the introduce yourself, the My Learning Plan, as well as the Getting Started Write-Up. And then for Thursday, you have these things to go over. So you'll go into Introducing Java, and I'll create a quick recording on this, just talks about it a little bit. So you go through and you read all this, it just talks about the generals of Java, and you're not going to be doing the discussions. So you learn about the beginnings of Java and all of that stuff. And I'll have a week 1 recording. I don't have it in right here, but you'll have a week 1 recording that you'll do regarding this too. A write-up and such. So just some basics on Java. Then we get down to section B. Of course, it talks a little bit more. So that'd be pretty quick to go through. So that's it for this week. This is a short week, so this should allow you to get some work done in other classes. And again, get all of this stuff finished by the end of the week, and then you'll be well on your way to getting a good grade in this class. So I appreciate you all being in the class with me this time. Hopefully we can learn a little bit more about programming. And that's all I have for you, so I look forward to this coming in. And of course, this is all about the Getting Started Write-Up. And we answered all these things. Go to the Learning Plan assignment. You can answer those questions. The subject line, if you're going to send me a K-mail, if you wanted me to help clarify something called Assignment 3, what would that subject line of the K-mail look like? We talked about that. For now, our live session is going to be on Tuesdays. 2 ways weekly lesson recordings are helpful for you. Go to the bottom of the syllabus. You can read about the weekly lesson recordings and how they're helpful. What have I provided to help you with quizzes and exams? I think I showed you that, didn't I? What helps you with the quizzes and exams. Where can you find all the links, all the weekly lesson recording links? Well, if I go into the announcements, index of lesson recordings right there, right in the announcements. How can you see feedback on an assignment? Gradebook. Just go to Gradebook, click on the assignment, and there's the feedback. Where do you find listings for the work for the week? Best place to find listings for the work for the week is going to the announcements, and here's an example. There's the listing for the work for the week in the announcements. Where can you go in the course to meet me in an immediate help session? Right over here. And then finally, the lowest total points. We'll go to the course syllabus or go to grading information and find the lowest points to pass this class, and a D is passing. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. I look forward to your work coming in, and let's all get off to a good start. I'll see all your work by the end of this week, and hopefully see you Tuesday in the one of the live sessions. Thanks, everyone. Bye.